First Brazilian to win a race. Jessica Visini è campione del mondo.
Hoje eu recebo um dos atletas mais emblemáticos do pelotão, carreira muito longeva, são 17 anos competindo a Copa do Mundo, inclusive sendo um dos atletas com mais pódios nesse evento, que é o mais prestigioso do nosso esporte. Meu ex-parceiro de equipe, o francês Maxime Marot. My old friend Max Marot, we've been together as teammates for a few years. We've been sharing the peloton for quite some races, some hard battles, sometimes not really good battles. One of us was far behind. Mainly I was far behind. But I'm really glad and honored that we could share teams for 4 seasons, riding for Cannondale Factory Racing. And I could learn a lot from you. You are one of the most experienced riders still active on the peloton, going into your 17th pro season or World Cup season. And yeah, thanks for coming. It's really good to have you again in Brazil. My pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks, Henry. Pleasure to come here, for sure. I like Brazil. We had good years, so it's always a pleasure to talk together, for sure. And yeah, really happy that I could help you, but you also helped me in many ways. So I think, yeah. I mean, in this team was like this. You know, we were helping each other. So you have a different approach from the sports and the Brazilian vision of it. Oversee vision of the sport, which is quite a lot different than Euro guys. So that was, I think, quite interesting for me in my career, quite helpful for me.
Yeah, no, likewise. I think we had a combo, you, me, and Fumic, and the staff. You know, I think was quite a unique environment. At some point, we were really balanced, and the relationship was really like good, and we challenged each other quite a lot. I think we are, you know, like very strong characters in our different ways. So we could really, you know, have good, healthy discussions about random stuff, and I think was really nice, and we could learn, you know, from different perspectives, and go into, you know, a little bit of tech talk or performance talk. I mean, you've been racing for a really, really long time, and one of the things that I learned the most from you is to pay attention into some details that help you to perform, and actually not really directly related to the sportive performance. So when we were recording a podcast the other day, and we were chatting about racing in Brazil and all that, and what are the types of challenge and stuff like that. And you performed really well in Brazil, in Petropolis in 2022, which wasn't like a surprise to me, because we all know your quality of how many times you've been there. But, you know, like, even if you didn't show like on the previous races like that performance, when the situation is harder or when the challenge is bigger, you can manage better. So what I learned from you is that, you know, like I always remember we were doing like a long trip to somewhere. I don't know if it was from Europe to America. I can really remember that, but at some point, you know, we checked it in, and we were like on the way to the gate, and all of a sudden we wanted to go to the bakery. and I said, what the heck, you know, this guy is going to do at the bakery. It was like a random time of the day, and you had to go to the bakery to have like a macaron, to have like a dessert, you know, like. and I asked, you know, why are you having that sweet now? It's not dessert time, or it doesn't fit in, you know, like on the time of the day. And you said, no, this is important to me because we are going into a long travel and I need to treat myself well. And you said that, and, and made me reflect so much about finding tricks that you were doing that in totally intentionally, but you know the effect, that it's important to just show some sugar because you're going to have some boring time ahead of you. So tell us about how you developed that, like those small rules, or protocols to perform better,
But for that, it's strange you speak about that because I had the same talk this morning or yesterday with Greta, my teammate, because she saw me on yesterday I was on a full rest day, and I went to the coffee shop and I had a massive apple strudel with a bit of ice cream, and she was looking at me like, Max, what? I said, rest day. I mean, rest day. It's all good. It's free day. I need to treat myself well. And she continued to asking, and then I said, no, it's mental things. I mean, on a rest day, I need to switch off. And food is part of the game. I don't do crazy things like massive food or stuff, but I just wanted that sweet,
yeah.
It was 11 a.m. and I just wanted to treat myself well. And on a rest day, I need to switch off, and food is a good key to switch off,
Yeah.
because this Apfelstrudel not gonna change my week,
Exactly.
It's just, but here it just helps me to stay really loose on a rest day.
Yeah.
So yeah, just strange to speak about that because as you can see, I'm still in the same process.
Yeah.
And the same when you go for a long travel. When I was young, I was always like trying to do the best, overthinking all the time when traveling, and do water, do this, the food, and trying to be so perfect on a travel day, which is most of the time a rest day when you go overseas. And it's just at one point I was just like, but how much it takes me mentally to do a travel like this, And now I'm more like free, and I don't do crazy bad stuff, but if I need something, and if to make my trip better I need just a sweet, I will go for it. I mean, just because I need to enjoy myself more in my career, like how to... For me, it's a passion. I never race for money. I never race for glory, for all of this. I race because I like it. And to stay healthy mentally in the sport, you need to take care of this one as you take care of your body.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your mental, of your brain, like you take care of your body, you're not gonna stay for long. So that was really important for me. And I just sometimes I think I try to be objective on things because athletes, we are so much focused on us. We are so much with flaps on, in our zone, and we can't see the bigger picture. Yeah. So on my side, I could never absorb too much load of training. Like I will never do what you did, basically. Giza.
Come on, Giza, let's train some more.
No, there's no chance, my friend. I can't handle this. I was on podium on World Cup podiums with like 12 hours a week, Early on, when I was 24,
go for 12 hours.
when I was 24, was this. So I just started to think about how I can get few things from what is not just biking, like all the things around, like, because on a race, okay, there is the physical side, racing your bike, but I mean, you use your lungs, so how I can develop my lungs, my breathing strategy.
So basically having like different tools
to use. Trying. But at this time, when you go look like 10 or 15 years ago, not too much people were doing all of this. So it was like trying things, trying tools, and making a mix, trying to feel what helps and what not helps. But for that, you really need to be objective. And with the tools, was the same with the same approach than the rest. Like, if you use too much a tool for 1 or 2 years, you will get bored of it, and maybe you will struggle mentally to commit again for 10 years. So I was always like using it really when it counts, really when I want to be on top, to give a bit of room to the body, to my brain, to then recover from those things, because the side things are quite demanding when you work on it. So same with the mental approach, mental preparation. Yeah, there is on nutrition, all of this, same. And yeah, just at one point I feel that it's too much. Mentally I can't handle it, or sometimes physically. And then I think I'm sometimes good to park a little bit, to say, chill a little bit. And all the work you have in the body for long years will not gonna go away.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that brings me to another point. Like you're racing for 17 years as on a pro level, on an elite level. You race at different bikes. You race at different eras. You raced on different professional levels. So you were like one of the very, very few upcoming riders, like one of the very few guys that were not like superstars as a youngster, and still you build your way to the top as an elite. And you went all the way, like to a top team, to a factory team. Remember when you signed with Cannondale, you signed it, and there was a lot of like expectation towards you, and was like a really long process to get there. You were on a very good team before, and you were succeeding with several World Cup podiums for a few years, and then you got into a factory team for 4 years, and then you changed teams to another big team, Santa Cruz, and then now riding for the Kathleen Ford. So basically what I want to say is that it's a lot of time under professional pressure. It's a lot of time riding for big teams, different management, different countries, different teammates. And I mean, you managed amazingly well to keep balanced, like to keep performing. Your first World Cup podium was in
2011.
2011, and last year you didn't get the podium, but you were sixth, so you were really just almost on the podium. In 2022 you almost won a stage, so it's a lot of time, like it's literally one of the longest like high level riders that we ever saw in the sport. And do you believe that nowadays, when you look to the youngsters, when you look to the environment, like with the different type of exposure, it's you get famous really fast nowadays. You get under good contracts quite fast nowadays. You get the external expectation really high quite quickly. Do you believe that we're gonna see guys like you on the next few years, guys that today are under 23 and are super talented, and they have like good investment behind them, they're riding for big teams, big brands or whatever? Do you believe that they're gonna get the first podium, and then they're gonna handle that for over a decade of performing under pressure?
I think yes, because they are always the new generation. They always are surprising you in a way. So not all gonna do it.
Like what? Like what, basically?
I don't know. They are really strong, really quick. I mean, in U23 and last year of U23, or when you see Adrien Boissy beginning of the season or last year, they are already super fast. They can race in an elite level because they can get all the information really quick. In my back in the days, I was going in the winter and doing my preparation, and I mean, apart going into the French team one or two times in the winter, you didn't know what the others were doing. Basically, we were meeting in beginning of April, and how was your winter? It was good. But now with socials, you can see everything. So they see what the top athletes are doing. Even if you try to hide some things, you can always get information. You always get a big image, big picture of the full process of being a top athlete. So, and they use it really well. I mean, they copy paste and they can perform super early. If they can do it for a long time, let's see. But I'm pretty sure they can.
Yeah, that's the question, you know, like, because now I see those guys maturing faster, but they're still young guys, you know, like they didn't live much in life as general, so they're gonna get to top results faster than probably you did or I did. So they are already like on top, and then from being on top, like maintaining that. Do you believe that it's easy for the youngsters now to get the satisfaction that you get or I was having, you know, when I was chasing another big result for another important season or something like that? Sometimes I question myself is that do they satisfy themselves, because things go up quickly, or they seem to happen faster nowadays. And then I ask myself, are they going to be ready to maintain that fire, you know, that desire to more?
Depends how they take the challenge. Now they also have more opportunities to switch in other disciplines, which can help mentally also to keep feeling growing or trying something new. And it's just that I don't think they gonna. Not everybody it's always the same, but if you take the challenge as a challenge to be performing a long time, I have no doubt they can make it, you know. Because on my side it was a bit like this also, because I like the challenge to race with guys that could be almost my son, you know. So we are close. I'm 30.
Hey, no,
I'm going
no,
38 now.
That could be really true.
So yeah, and what gonna help, I think, also is more on the side, the life on the side, because now especially in Europe, you get kids so late.
You always told me, you know, like one of those things, you know, that you were throwing all the time, and you always told me, when you saw some news and stuff like that, the rider, hey, you know, he's gonna mess it up this season. And I was always like trying to understand why. No, because he bought a new house. And you had like, you know, if you marry or if you buy a new house, it's big chance, you know, that you mess up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you buy a new house or you build a new house.
So it's side life, basically.
Yeah,
you know, like.
Side life. Because you don't get that much money to just throw the money and say, just do the house, you know? So you feel that you need to commit to do things by yourself. And this is when the troubles are coming. So, and it's the same with the kids and things like this. It's not easy to handle the side life because it drains energy. I mean, kids gives you a lot in terms of happiness and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you go back from a 5 hours ride, you are absolutely broken. And the little one is screaming because he's not happy because he didn't get chocolate or whatever. And you don't want to, to say, no, I don't give you chocolate, we wait, it's whatever. And then, I mean, the other ones, they are at the sofa in front of the TV watching some races, you know?
Yeah.
And you are trying to sort the things out, you know?
Without changing diapers.
So, and it's the same with for example, Julian Absalon, he had kids super early. Super early compared to me. He was still at a very, very high level. He was 28 or maybe something. I don't remember. But so all these things, I think, gonna help because now in life, in general, everything is a bit later. And all that stuff can help you as a youngster also, you know, because to feel also less the pressure on the side life to build something. The way we live and the youngsters live is different than our parents were living. You know, our parent was like, okay, 23, you need a house, we need kids, and in a career, it's not easy to make it early. So I think that can help them. But let's see. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna find solution. Also, the science is also evolving quite a lot. All the knowledge we got, how to perform in a good way, how to take care of the body and all of these things. So after it's more like to perform long, mentally you need to be connected. It's the key piece. I mean, if you don't want to do it, or you lose the flow, you lose your mojo, you
Yeah.
can't.
So talking about this, once you mentioned connection, I think you are one of the guys that I think the majority of people that are really part of this sport, they would say that you are one of the guys that can suffer the most on a race. Like you put your ugly face off, like teeth off, and you really grind, and you can hang in there, like forever. And how is that for you? Because I saw you performing in a lot of races that maybe you didn't have like the best shape, or maybe you didn't have like the best season at the moment, or you were leaving, like you're facing some sort of like personal challenge or professional challenge or health issue. I could see you in quite a few different situations, but at times, you would just like find the switch, inside yourself, and you could really, really, absolutely hammer yourself for a nice ride, to grab a great result. How's that for you? I think it's pretty unique, like most of the riders in the past or present now, they expect the good feeling, like they expecting the perfect day, the good shape to come, the good legs and all that. And I saw you many times, and I learned a lot from you on that point, to do your best on preparation, and at times it doesn't go your way, but still you put yourself on the race line, and very often I saw you squeezing a result, that was nearly, like impossible. So mentally, what does that mean to you? How do you do that, in your way?
Mastering the pain was always a goal for me.
Mastering the pain. What a legend.
No, definitely, since I'm super young, because I always thought that if I suffer more than the others, I'm gonna catch the lack of talent, I would say. We all have a talent in a way, but I think my big talent is I remember even when I was like a kid, I was 4 or 5 years old, and going in the woods with my father, and he was in the front with a friend. And in a climb, at one point, I collapsed. I mean, I fell down. I was knocked out in the bushes because I tried too hard to follow my father and his friend. And my father at that point probably thought, this kid is a bit...
It's a bit broken.
And it was always... I always thought I could suffer more. Always. And was always a challenge for me to try to dig deeper than what I did before. So I do it in the training also. And just trying to understand the pain, like not fighting it, just being with it, living with it, racing with it. And just step by step, I think I could suffer more and more and more. And I surprised myself, and I realized that really in trainings, when we started to have power meter, my coach pushed me to have a power meter super early, like I had in 2006 or something already on the road bike. And I understood that on a shit day, I could really be super close to a very good day. And
so almost like when you felt the pain, you could connect better, in a way, or
in a way. But that helps me to believe in myself, even when I'm not feeling comfortable in a race. To go, okay, just hold it, hang it, try it, because at one point the other's gonna be in trouble too. To see you still being there and still, So the power meter on that really helps me a lot, and also to reach new limits, like trying to beat something, trying to beat a record and things like this. But I really realized that, and basically I surprised myself more on a shit days than on a good day. I mean, like you mentioned, Petropolis 2 years ago was one of the best races in my life, but I didn't surprise myself internally, like I did something huge or whatever. No, I remember more some proper shit day where I was just doing crazy stuff, but no one could see. But I was broken at the start of the race, and I could still being on the podium or something. So I think it helps also to lift your mental to believe in yourself when it's not gonna go in your way. So overall, you just reach new limits.
Yeah, that is crazy that you talk about that on that way, because
yeah, but you was also really good at it.
I
know how to dig at one point, to put your heart on the table and to race just with that, no matter if you collapse later. But just to, and that was the things that always impressed me, and that always Dixie back in the days told me. He always said, "Look at Enrique, unleash the lion inside." The things that you are really able to do it, really when it counts. Really when it counts, or for a World Cup, for something, like you just throw it, you just launch your attack, and you absolutely don't know if it's gonna work. I was always on my side. I'm the one that is always a bit old by the brain, by my professional process or whatever, and missing a bit this racing thing. Like, okay, it's just not about physical, it's just racing with your heart, and you was really impressive on that, and it helps me also to try to copy that, but for sure not as good as you do.
I think I had a lot of talks with Dixie, and I think that the combination of us two would be nearly unbeatable, because I think you are this guy, that you could start a race and you could really get out of a dark place, and all of a sudden you were growing and fighting for a podium or fighting for a World Cup win. So like insanely good performance. And on my side was more like to be patient when things were not going my way, and you were really good on that. Like I saw you racing, like crashing on the start loop and closing the start loop, I don't know, in the 40 something, and then you finish the race fighting for the win, sprinting for the win on the World Cup. So this so hard to make happen, and to me was, I could really squeeze myself. Even actually my best performance were when I wasn't 100%. But when I did like a great preparation before. So when I had a lot of training on the legs, when I really tried hard, and then when I was suffering on the race, I could kind of trust. If I'm suffering, everyone is suffering as well. And somehow, if I would survive the 90% of the race, and then on the last 10%, was when I could let myself get emotional. And then the body would change, But this would burn so much energy and so fast that it's just one match that you have. It's just one shot that I would have. But most of the good performance that I did, the big wins, it was like I could just, I don't know, I lost the feeling of my body and was just, I don't know, just full energy. But I had to, to learn from you as well to get to that point, to get to the final piece of the race. I think I was really good on the last 5% of the race, but I had to learn, and I did learn a lot from you on the first 95, until I was on the position. So yeah, it's good to chat, and I think we benefited a lot from.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least I benefit a lot, from the time
me
we
too, for
spent
sure,
together. And also we did, we had some really good times. It's nice to remember when I look back, we had some rough times, and we were under a massive amount of pressure. I think it's it's a blessing, you know, when you are racing high level for a factory team. You know, I had massive ambition, you had massive ambition, Filmic had, you know, like a massive ambition, and different cultures, you know, different countries, and we were under stress at times, but we could help each other to release quite a lot. So I think that was
the
was a
good
great
point
time,
of that team for sure, because definitely different characters and different culture. Because Mani, that is not here, sitting here today, but he was part of the things for sure.
If he was, we wouldn't be talking. We would
about
be
performance.
listening.
No, we would be still talking about how to release, like with sweets and
And other things that we shouldn't record.
No, exactly. So, but yeah, it was a good mix because sometimes the teams are too much Euro focused, and as I said in the beginning, that there is another vision of the sport in other continents, and it really helps to lift everybody, just to chill a little bit also, because sometimes we are a bit too much, I don't know, stress or like complaining maybe about long trips or going overseas and things, but you were spending so much time early on in your career when you were staying in Europe for a long time, far from your family, and then you was doing so much shuttle between the continents that then you and still performing at a mega level. So then, as a Euro guys, you need to chill out and say, okay, it's not a problem to leave for 3 weeks and to go 2 times a year overseas. You know, you need to just chill.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. So, and on this side, it helps also the Euro guys to learn from how to deal with the jet lag, how to deal with that long travels, different environments and different training conditions to adapt. And the sport is evolving in this way, and I think it's really good for the sport to come in places like this. I mean, I really hope and finger crossed to have World Cups in Brazil every year, because it's a mountain bike country, and we need to race in mountain bike countries. It's not only in Europe, so we were going Australia a few years or so. It's good, and I like this. So we have to take care of everybody in the sport.
Nice, really nice. Well, really good chats.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Henry.
Always a pleasure. I think we could stay talking for
we do
quite a long time.
We do all a web series if you want. We just sit for hours and we speak. We have plenty of things to say.
so many topics to talk about, but it was a real pleasure to.
At one point, we need
some time.
We need money.
We have the 3 of us, and then it's gonna be a really, really long one. It's a full season, proper documentary.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, no, I just wanna wish you great race, great time in Brazil. I hope you do the best you can, hopefully even better than you did in 2022. I will be on the side cheering this time.
Thanks for cheering me last weekend. I heard you. But when Ulan was close, you wasn't cheering
and then
to
I
me too
started
much.
changing a little bit, but I was still there.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
No worries.
He's younger, you know?
Yeah, sure.
At some point, I was like, no, he had enough. Go, Ulan, go. No, it was really, really nice to see you performing well. I think you started the season not showing your best, but
no, I had
it's there. So
tough early season. Didn't went as it was planned. I had many things to that happened, but now I just want to have everything I need and just have no troubles and race my best. My best, I'm gonna give my best. This is always my goal. But let's see the results. I mean, no pressure. I have nothing to lose. I'm too old to put too much pressure on myself.
It's not good for your heart. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not good for your blood pressure.
No.
At this age, you need to be careful. No, jokes apart. It's actually inspiring, you know, like to see a guy that is there for so long still. Dedicating yourself so much for the sport, you know, like that's great. I know that you're always like a very valuable teammate, you know. Whenever you go you're always like helping the next generation. I think you did that in Cannondale, you did that in Santa Cruz, you're doing that now with Decathlon Ford. So it's good to have you around and
thanks.
smash on the races.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, come on.